The demand for group and private events is at an all-time high. Is your business ready to capitalize on all these opportunities? With Restaurant as your booking partner, you can ensure event success this year and beyond.
With no booking fees or commissions, Restaurant has helped over 2,000 restaurants, bars, and breweries reach local event planners who are looking for a space for their next gathering. Whether it's a birthday, anniversary, graduation, or corporate event, Restaurant will get your space booked.
Try it today and receive 3 months completely risk-free by signing up at restaurant.com/podcast. That's restaurant.com/podcast.
Hi, everyone. I'm Claudia Sarek.
And I'm Spencer Michael.
And this is So You Want to Run a Restaurant, created by the team at backofhouse.io, the most trusted resource for restaurant tech.
All right, everybody. Today we have an absolutely magical guest joining us, someone who's turning pasta making into a theatrical performance.
Yes, and get ready because the whole episode, Spencer will say pasta, the Vancouver style, and I will say it, pasta, the U.S. style.
Nice. It's pasta. Pardon me.
Pasta.
Pardon.
No, there's so many ways to say it. Anyway,
Yeah.
All right. Natalia Lepore Hagan is our guest today, and she's not your average chef. She's blending storytelling, food, community, all into something that feels like dinner and a show. And in doing so, she's built an entire successful brand around pasta parties where people don't just learn to make pasta, they actually live this experience.
Right. She trained at Escoffier, but she also has roots in performance. So she's got that Broadway background in her DNA, and she's creating some really joyful experiences for her guests.
It's very cool. So get ready because when she comes on, we are going to dig into how Midnight Pasta was born, how she balances performance with cooking, and this new and really popular viral experience, and where she's taking it next. Spoiler, the Hamptons, and who knows where else.
Okay. Well, let's welcome the one and only Natalia Lepore Hagan. Great to have you with us today, Natalia. How are you?
Hi, guys. I'm wonderful today. Thank you so much for having me on. I'm so excited.
It's our pleasure.
Yeah, we're so glad to have you.
Thanks.
So first, this is something new we've had on the show. We get restaurants that have an experience incorporated into the business, but this is like a cooking class plus an experience minus traditional restaurants aspect to it. It's a family style serving. And so start telling your audience just what is Midnight Pasta. Just you explain it all to us.
Yes, I would love to. So I own the company called Midnight Pasta, and it is an experience-based pasta company. I basically invite people into a ticketed event, and we wine and dine them. And then I throw them headfirst into a wild 45-minute pasta class.
Nice.
And then we take the pasta that everybody's made, and we bring it back into the kitchen. And we have an awesome team, a kitchen team led by Chelsea Career, who's an amazing chef. And we turn the pasta that everyone makes into a 5-course dinner party.
Oh my gosh.
So-
And are you teaching the class?
I teach the class. Yeah.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah. It's super fun.
And
Yeah.
it is kind of designed to be like, hey, you just welcome into my kitchen. We're going to put on some music. We're gonna sing. We're gonna make pasta. It seems like it's high energy while kneading dough.
Yeah. So I have a kind of wild backstory, but I was raised in a really, really fun American-Italian family.
Oh,
full
tell
of
us more.
artists.
Yes, tell
Oh
us
my
more
gosh.
about that.
It was wonderful. We were always the family that at Thanksgiving, if you didn't have a place to go, at Christmas, if you didn't have a place to go, we were always the family. And my grandfather opened up his doors to anyone and everyone. And he was an amazing abstract artist. And he was the one who taught me how to make pasta. So very tactile, very beautiful. It was a wonderful way to grow up. And people were always playing loud music and dancing. And so that was the kind of dinner table that I grew up around. And I was like, I really want people to experience this. Because when I realized that this wasn't what everybody's childhood looked like, I was like, wait, this is fun.
Yeah.
I want everyone to have this.
Yeah. And it's so funny because when I look at your Instagram, I feel like you're embodying that even on your Instagram page. There's so much energy and movement and joy on there on the page. So it's nice to hear that those, that comes from a deeply rooted place, it sounds like, in your family and where you grew up. So did you also have like a midnight pasta tradition?
Yes. Yeah,
Ah,
absolutely.
okay.
Yeah, so my aunt, who lives in Manhattan, who is the fashion designer, she would always have us around the table at midnight. We were like, wherever you were at that night, maybe you were at a Broadway show, you were at an art opening, if you were just like in Brooklyn at a bar, she would kind of like do this rallying call and be like, we're having midnight pasta. And sometimes on not Christmas Eve, on like Christmas Day night, we would also gather around the table and eat pasta at midnight. So it was this kind of just like warming midnight experience that I always loved.
Man.
And I was like, I want whatever I create this company to be, I want it to be called Midnight Pasta.
Oh, I
So-
love that.
So to be totally clear, it doesn't all start at midnight. Like if you show up at
No, you
midnight,
eat
you've
at
missed
midnight,
it.
Spencer.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, so this was the name of my company, and I was so excited, and I was like, yes, okay, it's a concept. Also, it's a dish. It's a specific Italian dish, I think mostly done in Rome, but all over Italy. It's like that late night snack. And Italians go into their
Yes.
cupboard and they grab anchovies and olives and olive oil, and maybe they have parsley and garlic. And so they make a pasta dish at midnight. And so it's literally a recipe as well. So I thought everyone was going to get it, but I really am confusing a lot of my customers because I have so many people that will write on my Instagram or write me and say, I really, really want to come. I cannot stay up until midnight. And
Right.
I'm like, no, it's at 6 o'clock. I promise.
Has anybody shown up at midnight? It's like, you're 6 hours late. I'm so sorry. Let me see what I
No,
can
but-
get for you.
Thanks a lot. No, you just unlocked a new fear for me, Spencer.
But let's talk about your Broadway background and let's move to that because I read that you have that and it sounds like it was also in your family as well.
Yeah, so we are a bunch of dancers and artists, like I
Yeah.
said. But I took my first ballet class when I was 4 years old. And
Wow.
then from that moment on, I was like, oh my God, this is my trajectory. This is what I'm
Mhm.
going to do. So everyone knew in Ohio, in my little town, they're like, oh, that's Natalia. She's going to go to Broadway. Just let her be. And I'd be dancing around while playing softball. And everyone just was like, okay, whatever. And I went to college for it. And I ended up dropping out of school and just moving straight into New York City to just go for it.
Oh wow.
And yeah, and that
What a
was my
change.
aunt again. I know. Well, my family lived in New York and I was really, really lucky. And my aunt said, you can live in my attic. And my first big job, which was so cool, was Boardwalk Empire. And I danced in
yeah.
like 3 or 4 episodes of that.
I love that show.
Me too.
That's a
That was
great
such a
one.
dream. I did some off-Broadway work and then I did regional productions. So I would just kind of go everywhere. So by the time I was 27, I had visited or performed in almost all 50 states. So that was like a total whirlwind of
Wow.
of my 20s. It was so nice.
That's amazing. And that experience has been incorporated into Midnight Pasta, I would imagine, and that you're
Absolutely.
leaning into that a lot in the experience part of this.
Absolutely. No, I even announced it at the beginning. So I'm going to be dancing around and I'm going to ask you to dance with me.
Nice.
And if you're like,
Yes.
why is that girl twirling? And I love applause. So, I make a whole shtick out of it, but everything is theatrical. And I think a lot of other artists, they'll come in and they'll say, oh my God, I really love how you dimmed the lights in that moment, or you opened the doors like a curtain, or, so it kind of feels like you're in this like an immersive experience when you
Mhm.
come in.
What a fun
Wow.
experience. Spencer, I want to
Thanks.
see you doing this. I want to see you
Yeah.
at the pasta party
Nobody
dancing around.
wants to see that.
No, I want
that's-
to see it because I feel like this is something I would do and I want to get you to do it too.
Yeah, I'll rain check that with you, Claudia.
Wait, Spencer, I will tell you how many people, so many, especially men, and I hate to call them out, but they will walk in with like guard up. And by the end of it, they are so honest with me and I love it. And they're like, I didn't want to come here. My wife dragged me here, but I loved it and I will be back and tell all my friends.
Oh my
Okay.
gosh.
Well, let's
So-
be honest here. Let's have a confessional. It'll only take a couple of cocktails. Let's
Yeah,
let's be serious here, and then I'll be right into it. So yeah.
Absolutely. That's what I think anyway. That's why we give you a nice strong gin cocktail when you walk in the door.
Oh,
Yeah,
perfect.
there you
Warm.
go.
That's
You
the
know what you're
that's
doing.
part
You
of
know
the
what you're doing.
warm up. Yeah. That must feel good to create a place where people can go and really experience a ton of joy and let go and have the experience of the community of cooking together, because cooking brings people together, and then like a really joyful experience where you can let loose, have fun, and then enjoy a meal all together.
Thank you for saying that.
Yeah.
That is specifically what I want to happen.
Yeah.
I I've experienced a lot of grief in my life, and this was a way truly for me to be happy again. And when they walk in the door, they get to forget about what's going on outside and they get to come in and experience joy and have a moment where they don't have to think about that. So when I created Midnight Pasta, I didn't realize I was also doing that for myself. And I was creating a space where I could feel joy. And then I started seeing other people having that same experience and coming in and saying, I had a really hard day or something tragic happened in my life, but this gave me a lot of joy. And
I mean,
hearing that just like makes me, that's all I want to do.
we need more of that today anyway.
Yeah.
Even if it's not like something personal. There's just fires going on everywhere, it seems like right now. And like you turn on the news or you flip through Instagram and you're like, oh, this is just a dumpster fire every day. And so having something like that is really amazing.
Yeah, thank you.
Incredible.
That's exactly what I want to be for anyone.
So now those that are listening or watching might be thinking, well, this sounds great. It's big, it's theatrics, but this is still a restaurant. Does Natalia have enough, background? Absolutely. You went through culinary school. You studied at Escoffier. So I would imagine that a formal culinary school is trying to take Natalia and put her into this box, and you are trying to break out of that while also trying to learn some of these techniques and such. Did I hit that correctly?
Absolutely. Yeah. But my culinary school experience was also very different because I transitioned into this world during the pandemic when Broadway shut down and all of a sudden I had nowhere to go and I was stuck in my little apartment in Queens. And I just fell back on making pasta. And I called my grandfather all the time and he would say all these new recipes that his mother had given him that I never heard of. And then I just started going crazy into it. And I thought, I want to do this online. So I started cooking a little bit online and a few people gave me these little tips and they're like, oh, if you just put a wet paper towel under your cutting board, it won't slide around. And I was like, oh, duh. Now I feel like an idiot. I want to go to culinary school. That was literally how I did that.
Oh my goodness.
All culinary schools take note with your Instagram marketing machines. How she got talked into this.
That warms my heart because, as someone who's cooked, like you go over to someone's house and they're like got their elbow on the cutting board and it's like, please stop everything right now. I'm going to dampen a cloth and your life will be different from here on out.
It was
like,
it really was.
Do you do this too, Spencer?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Oh, that's so fun. I've actually never heard of this, so you can tell that I'm not classically trained.
It's going to change your life.
And my life has now changed. Wow.
We're glad we could help.
I know. The tips and tricks that come out of this show, they span far and wide. It's not just for restaurant owners and operators, but it's also for foodies.
That makes me so happy. I'm so happy.
Yeah.
This is great.
Well, in the end, I ended up getting influenced by this online cooking school. So I was living in between Philadelphia and New York City, and we still couldn't get into kitchens yet. We were still in lockdown.
Oh, sure.
So I was like, well, how can I make the best of this experience? And I loved it. I loved every second of it. I went full in. And you just have to be really honest with yourself. Because you could be like, this hollandaise was great because they don't get to taste it. So you have to really judge yourself. Yeah. And I was like, my hollandaise is terrible. It keeps breaking. I'm not doing well. And my teachers and professors and chefs were like, okay, Natalia, let's work it out. And I loved that. It was a very interesting way of going through culinary school.
A little bit of hot water. Another tip and trick. Your hollandaise breaks, hot water, and it actually makes it better, I find.
Oh, I love that.
Look at you. Look at this.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm done.
Wow.
See you later, everybody. That's
the show
it for today.
Is now
I'm
over.
done.
That's it. Natalia, thanks for joining us. Just kidding. Do not leave. Yeah, do not leave.
Do
not leave yet. All right. So when did you actually open this? And when you first opened it, what was it like? And did people get it? Because this is a really new concept for a lot of, I suppose cooking classes are not new, but the way that you are doing it, there's a different spin to it. So
yeah,
what was it like opening it? And then what was it like getting those first guests in the door? And when you really were like, oh, I've got something here and people like this and people are getting it.
It was kind of wild opening it. So it's really cool because we work out of a shared kitchen It's called the Culinary Collective, and the Weiser family owns it. I met Brandon Weiser, the son, and we sat and he had a drink, and he was like, what do you want to do in Philly? And I was like, I've got this wild concept. And he was like, I have a space for you. Let's make it happen.
Mm-hmm.
So the first event was absolute chaos. I look back on it with so much like, oh my
It
God,
means you did it right.
intensity.
That means you were doing it right. Yeah.
It was crazy. We have an awesome chef, and it was mostly my friends and family and 2 people that had just heard about it, and they came in. And from that first time to where we are now, like, it is absolutely night and day. And but we had invited an influencer in who's really, really awesome, Josh Eats Philly. And Josh had a great time. He also had a lot of really good constructive feedback for me, and we really hit it off. And he posted one reel, and we had like 4 classes up on a website. And his reel started going viral. And then we started gaining thousands of followers. And then all of our classes sold out. And that's when I realized, like, oh my God, we actually have something that people really want. There's a hole in the market, and we're tapping right into it.
Absolutely. It's amazing the effects that some of these influencers have on businesses and how they have the power to really explode brands. You're not the first person we've had on this show that had, someone come into their restaurant, film something, and it just went viral. And their whole restaurant is now on the map. And they're like, oh my gosh, I'm filling so many orders. I don't know what to do next. So it's very cool that.
I think it's like a contentious point, right? Like, I go to all these chef conferences and they're always like, influencers are like bad. I've had a great experience because I think a lot of chefs don't want to have a gimmick. They want everybody to come in for their perfect, wonderful food. And I agree. I think we have perfect, wonderful food, but I want people to see this experience and say, oh my God, I have to do that. Like, we're in a different category. And I feel like we have a really good experience with Philly influencers. So we're very lucky.
I think like anything, especially in Philadelphia, in a major city, there's going to be quite a few influencers out there. And I think just like anything, there's going to be the great ones that really care and do well and are interested in advancing the restaurant industry and helping independents out and, doing exactly what Josh did for you. And then there's others looking for a free meal. I think that it's just like anything. So you really got to vet out if you're going down this road, who actually is an influencer, who actually, and go through their posts. You probably know better than I do because you've been through this process.
Everything you said is absolutely right. And like, do they align with your brand? Are they, for us too, it's like, how do we get into different groups of people too? Like, we can start working or getting people over from Jersey because we're right over the bridge from Jersey. So like, we need to reach out to more influencers in Jersey to show how easy it is to come over. So it's a great way to all of a sudden get into a little place that you never thought you could get into.
Yeah. As someone that was on the foodie influencer side, I can tell you that the way that you treat the restaurant, like it's a joint relationship, and I can understand why people get irritated with them for sure. And I think it kind of speaks to the ethos of what we're talking about, the ethos of the influencer and what they're going and what the intention are and all of that. But anyway, moving forward from that, talk to us about the actual parties. I want to go through and like tell us what happens at a midnight pasta event, which I want to attend. Give me the preview.
Yeah. It really is a shared experience. So we design it specifically so that not every single person has every single tool available to them. So I start teaching the class. We have a really great camera setup so you can see everything happening with my hands above me on a TV screen. And I start teaching the class and I intermix music. And when you have to crack your egg, right? We have an egg and flour out. You crack your egg and then what do you do with the shell? If it's a 28-person class, which is our typical class, I only give 4 bowls. So I'm like, you have to run across the room with your eggshell and find someone who has a bowl, or you have to say to your next door neighbor, oh my God, excuse me, will you pass me that bowl? And then they're like, oh, let's have a conversation. And we do that with all of our tools. And all of a sudden people are vibing and laughing. And I absolutely love that.
What a cool way to do that.
So it's very shared. Thanks. I feel like I trick people into talking to people.
But it's a more natural way to do it. Like it's not as forced, but it's like, hey, I have to use this tool and like you've got what I need. So like, hey, I really like what you're wearing. Where'd you get that? Like I can see how you're sparking dialogue with people in a more natural way. That's really cool.
Well, I do that specifically too because after we take everyone's pasta away, I teach people to make two shapes, very, very simple shapes. That's when I open up the doors to reveal this beautiful dinner table, and it's all family
Oh, wow.
style and it's one table. So they've been all working with these people and we've seated them again next to each other.
Mhm.
And then they sit down with them right next to them again. And now they
Perfect.
continue to have these conversations and there's a way to not speak to people if you want to, but we've really made it so that you kind of have to.
It'd be very
And
hard to. Yeah. Wow.
and
Yeah.
then we close the doors back and now they're in like a whole different section. And so now they're just sitting and we have red and white checkered tablecloths, Chianti bottles with little candles sticking out of them, candlelight everywhere. And it's so kitschy and cute and American Italian 90s. Frank Sinatra's playing. It's just like what I want in my wildest
Wow.
dreams. And
Yeah.
we start everyone out with focaccia that we make and we do an olive oil service and then we start bringing out the food, but like twist, it's all family style. So now they like really have to share their food.
Yeah, if you want to eat, you got to share. You got to
Yeah.
pass. You got to talk.
But we're like really serious about keeping things hyper local. So I've
It's good.
created these awesome connections with different farms and farmers and we change the menu every month almost. So in tomato season, we got a lot of tomatoes. In the winter, we're working with asparagus. And like, everything is very, very different. And I
Yeah.
love that.
And
And
very seasonal, that part of the country. Like you said, that
it's
part of the country is very
super
seasonal. So you're not in
seasonal.
Florida
Yeah.
where you can just sort of get whatever, whenever. You're in a cold part of the year and you need to work with
Yes.
what you got, which is awesome.
Yeah, even our eggs are local, like hyper
Oh,
local.
wow.
And a lot of times I'm like, I grew this. We're really, really obsessed with making it as local as possible. And I have the ability to do this because we're not a restaurant. I am
Mm.
only in a week going to be serving like maybe 150 people that week.
Well, and it's
So
ticketed. So you also
yeah,
know who's coming and what
Yeah.
you need to prepare for, which I think is every restaurant's dream, right? To not have the reservations fall off and that they know, okay, Friday night we're seating 250 people and that's going to be it, or whatever that number may be.
Yeah.
exactly. Yeah, like our food waste is quite minimal. Yeah, we have a kind of dream setup in that way that a lot of chefs don't have. So we can be very, very specific with what we get and nothing is written down. We can have that ability to just shift everything and say, here you are.
Restaurant nerdiness talking about
Oh, yeah.
logistics of what's happening here. So so yeah, let's talk about the logistics of the making of the pasta and then serving it
Mm.
because you're bringing literal strangers off the street in to be your kitchen. So there's a lot of faith that you take and obviously you know what you're doing to obviously be able to teach this. But man, that would terrify me.
That's a good question.
Has there ever been a moment like none of this can be served tonight? Or is it generally everyone kind of gets on board and knows what they're doing?
Yeah. You make it fail proof.
Yeah.
Yeah, nobody's asked me that question before in an interview, and that's such a good question because people ask all the time when it comes out to them. They're like, there's no way we made this pasta. Like, you
Mm.
have pasta sitting back there. And I always say to them, there's no way I would spend that much time making pasta to swap this out. Like, it's a lot
Yeah.
of work.
Yeah.
No, we've kind of, like I said earlier, like it feels foolproof because it is such an easy, easy thing to do. And I make the simplest or I teach the simplest form of pasta making. I was making this exact pasta when I was 5 years old. So everyone there who's over 18, I'm always like, you can do it. And we've had over 3,000 people now in our classes. And I can only remember one specific man who I was like so angry about his pasta because he wasn't paying attention.
See?
But that's one guy. And I yelled at him. Like I'm
You
so
handled it.
bantery. Yeah,
Yeah.
I was like, what are you doing? He was like, my wife's doing it. And I was like, that's not how this works here. Come back here. And I looked at his pasta and it was just like chaos. But otherwise, no. Like we definitely have someone in the back when all the pasta comes back. We have someone checking it out. If something got clumped, if something is a little funky. But typically, I mean, I make everyone wash their hands like 3 times throughout the process. So it feels very clean. And I never have had anything absolutely disgusting happen.
Well, that's good.
A few people like to throw their ball of dough around and then it falls on the ground. And I'm like, well, now we can't use that.
Please, no,
Yeah.
please throw that away. Please
Throw-
do
yeah,
not let that
100%.
end up in the
Yeah.
bowl. Yeah.
Yeah.
One girl was like, I don't care. And I was like, I don't care if you
Everybody
care.
else
Yeah, but
does.
All these
everyone else-
strangers care.
Exactly. Yeah, the health
Yeah.
department sure does. Yeah.
I was like, we have
Ask them
a
about
great
the 5-second
relationship.
rule. Yeah, it doesn't.
It doesn't apply in real
it does
life,
not
everyone.
Apply. It just another tip and
I
trick.
know.
It's not a thing.
5-second rule is not a real thing, everyone. You heard it here first on
Yeah,
this
yeah.
show.
I love that. Actually,
Yeah.
that girl
Well,
was
that-
very, very sweet. And she was so funny. I was like, just pretend, girl. We'll just go through the rest of the motions and then we'll slide it into the trash.
Yeah, there you
Well,
go.
the gauntlet has been thrown down now, Philadelphia. 3,000 people through the door, and you're talking, well, maybe 2 people have not been able to complete the task. So if there you are. Don't
a good
be one of them.
percentage.
Yeah, I think that's pretty
Yes.
high.
So let's talk about growth here a little bit. So, because you're not just in Philly, and I know is that correct that you've gone further out than that? Or you've
We're
done
starting to.
pop-ups? Okay.
Yeah.
So I want to talk about that a little bit, and then I also want to talk about how are you going to maintain all of the localness? Are you going to just walk us through some of that?
Yes, absolutely. Wonderful question. We are realizing that we're growing really, really fast in Philly and we
Yeah.
love it. And Philly's always going to be our home base, like Philly forever. But we are an experience. While we do have a lot of people that come back through our doors because the menu changes every time they walk in, it's a whole different group of people. Our percentage of people that do come back is not super high as much as, say, your favorite local restaurant. So we're going to hit a point in a little plateau where we've kind of saturated the market. So I've decided that I want to do like I used to do for Broadway shows and take it on the road and take it on tour.
Yeah.
So we did a little summer pop-up in the Hamptons, just one to get some press. And then we're going back next summer. I want to be in New York City. I want to go to Baltimore. I want to go to DC, but I want to do this incrementally and slowly as we continue to build and we start getting presence in these different neighborhoods. So to your question about keeping everything hyper local, I have and do go to this conference every summer. Actually, it's called FAB. It's the FAB conference.
Love
and I have
FAB.
my water.
I have been. It's a great conference. Yeah.
Okay. I tell every female business
Yeah.
owner in hospitality, they have to go. But I've made all these wonderful connections
Yeah.
with different restaurateurs in all of these big cities.
What a great way to utilize that network. For those that don't know, FAB
Yeah.
is the women in food service. It's a conference that happens in Charleston every year, and it literally is only women. In fact, the people that work the event even are women only as well. And so what a great way to utilize that network and to help you as you expand.
Yeah, I've been really lucky. I love that conference.
Well, I will obviously want to know if you're bringing it out to Vancouver, but I know the answer is no. So I'll just move
Why
on.
no?
Why
You never know that.
We don't get nice things here.
I
if
will
you
come
are.
anywhere I have a connection. I will go there.
Okay.
You
watch
watch
out.
out. Connection.
let's-
Watch out,
let's-
Spencer.
Yeah, like Tony and Tina's wedding had like a 15-year run here. So like
I
theatrics
loved Tony
and
and Tina's wedding. That was
pasta
such a good show.
is there. Obviously, Vancouver we love it apparently. So
Oh
It's
my God,
such a good show.
thank you for saying that. That makes me so happy. And when people think and feel like sometimes Midnight Pasta has that connection to Tony and Tina's wedding, it's just like, I'm so happy.
You're like
Okay.
mission
So, yes.
accomplished. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
well, let's go with that then. So for someone who's wanting to build like a Tony and Tina's wedding or something similar to Midnight Pasta, that's a business but it's creative and it's service oriented, it's theatrics. Is there something sort of guiding you? Is there sort of a guiding light that you stick to that this is what I'm doing, and I need to make sure if I get my wild ideas or something that's taken me off course that I'm going to go right back?
I just think about going back to that table as a child and sitting and eating different kinds of foods and pasta and that experience is all I want to fall back on and to give to other people. So will it continue to be authentic? Because
Yeah.
as soon as we lose the authenticity and as soon as I'm just looking for money, which I don't want to, but if that ever happened, it would lose its beauty. And I
Mhm.
think it would lose the real authentic part and connection that I think people come to us to look for.
That is a
That's
great answer.
great.
That's awesome. Okay, that's
Yeah.
a good one to finish on there.
Yeah. But before you go,
But
we have a final round that we're doing with people.
I need 2 on the fly.
So these are quick answers, no overthinking, just what comes to mind. Are you ready, Natalia?
Oh my God, I'm so excited. Yes.
Okay, great. What's your favorite pasta shape?
Strozzapreti. It means priest stranglers, and it's got a bunch of lore. It's so fun.
Oh.
Okay. What's one tiny behind-the-scenes detail that most guests are not going to notice, but that you absolutely obsess over?
When a sightline that to make sure that everyone can see everything happening at every time, and nobody is blocked from someone like one of my team's backs at any time.
Interesting.
We had a guest on the show. I have to interject here. We had a guest on the show that ran a Christmas pop-up bar, one of those like massive Christmas pop-up bars.
Fun.
And one of the things that she did was she had to go sit in every single seat, and even in the bathroom when you were sitting on a toilet, they wanted to know that you were seeing something Christmas or that something in your face was part of the whole experience. And I thought, wow, that is attention to detail.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. If Midnight Pasta could happen anywhere in the world, any city, any setting, where would it be?
Oh my God. I would love for it to be in Singapore at the very, very top of that crazy hotel that has the infinity pool.
Yeah.
I love Asia. I love Singapore. I think it'd be so cool to do this there.
That is
Wow.
so cool.
That's a
I
great
would get a
answer.
ticket. Yeah, that's a great answer. Wow.
Okay.
I didn't know where in the world we'd end up for that one, but I want to
And
be
that,
I-
we ended up in Singapore.
Yeah, I want to be at that event. That's where I want to go.
Yes.
Well, this was an amazing conversation.
Yeah,
Thank you
this is
so
great.
much
Thank
for
you.
joining us today, and wishing you and Midnight Pasta all the best and all the success.
Thank you for having me. It means a lot to be able to spread this like love and joyful company around. And thank you for having me. It means the world to me.
Thank you, Natalia. Appreciate it. So You Want to Run a Restaurant is created by Back of House, produced and hosted by Claudia Sarek, with Nick Florick as executive producer. Marketing by Hillary Young and Ashley Dunn. Creative by Manisha Kishanchan. And live production by Sarah Heemstra. And of course me, your co-host, Spencer Michael. For more information, visit backofhouse.io/podcast.